Hello and welcome to the Long Island midweek weather report. We got a couple of issues to talk about, so that's why I'm doing a midweek weather report. A lot more clouds in the middle of the day, and then toward later in the day it was better. Yesterday we had sunny to partly sunny skies. It was a pretty decent day, and I'll show you what we got going on out there. So obviously yesterday I was at Belmont. I didn't take a video, but colors still looking nice at Belmont Lake. Partly sunny skies. It's really very windy out. Still breezy and chilly. Very nice day though. And then in the evening, it was we had some mix of clouds and some. And today we had a lot of clouds, and then later on in the afternoon, after 2 o'clock, the clouds disappeared, and we had nice sunshine for some nice photos at Massapequa Lake. Now, as far as the comet goes, yes, we had a comet tonight. I'm going to show you that. Let's go and take a look at some of these pictures that I got here of the comet. I should have gotten there. Let's see if we can find that here. I took it last. You can sort of see it over the lake here at Massapequa. But there, that's a more close-up shot of the comet there. A3 comet, they call this. So this is the comet right here. Again, kind of hard to see with the full moon. There was a lot of glare. The full moon makes it a little harder to see. So the moon is going to rise a little later tomorrow night, so maybe we'll have better visibility. But remember, as the comet moves away from the sun, it will become less brilliant as well. But this is the photo I took of the comet. I have a few more, too, if you want to look. But that's, this is the better one I've gotten. Anyway, now that we looked at all that, let's talk about the cold weather that we have across the area. Even some frost advisories for eastern Suffolk County. Nothing for the western part of Long Island, but you see even freeze warnings. And this stretches way back into Pennsylvania and Ohio. And then we have also red flag warnings. There was also elevated fire danger, too, today as well, because we haven't had any rain. In fact, Central Park's only gotten a trace of rain. And it's cold out there. All right, we have the wind up there. 50 degrees being reported at West Hampton. Actually, it dropped a little. Temperature dropped a little earlier. We had a little radiational cooling, but the winds are picking up again because we have a storm developing offshore. North wind at 6, gusting just a north wind at 6. But you see the temperature 48, 2.35. Very dry air. Highs were only in the 50s today. If we go look at our highs and lows today, you'll see highs only in around, some areas made it closer to 60 today, but generally upper 50s to around 60, below normal for the day. If we look at the lows, there was radiational cooling in the Pine Barrens. West Hampton got down below freezing, 28 degrees for a low there. Everyone else, Islip at a low of 39, 44 at Farmingdale, and also in the Pine Barrens in New Jersey, 30 at Miller Air Park for a low, 29 at Coyle Field. There was also a small wildfire that broke out in New Jersey today in the Brendan Burns State Forest. That is, I think they're getting it under control, fortunately. Anyway, so this is what our temperatures look like. And this is something interesting at West Hampton. So show you what was going on at West Hampton. Actually, it was starting to radiate. This evening, the temperatures are dropping, and then when the wind picked up, pushed the temperature back up again, which is kind of interesting. And also yesterday, October 15th, it was pretty chilly at West Hampton, too. If we look at the low as well, you'll see that West Hampton got down to, let's see, a low of 31. So they also got below freezing yesterday morning as well. But it was even colder this morning. So if the wind drops, we will see that radiational cooling. But the winds have come back up again because of that developing low offshore. So that might actually help to keep the temperatures up a little bit with that wind. Looking at our climate statistics for today, we'll go ahead and look at Islip here for today. And you'll see a high of 59, a low of 39. Puts us 7 degrees below normal for the day. And if we go back and look at yesterday's, let's look at yesterday's. That was yesterday's, right? Yeah. High of 59, low of 41, 6 degrees below normal as well. Quite, we're staying below normal again. Barely any rain. In fact, Central Park has gotten only a trace of rain. If we should look at Central Park's climate report today, you'll see only a trace of rain has occurred, and there's no rain in the forecast. So this may not only be the driest October on record, it may be the driest month on record at a lot of our climate sites with absolutely no rain. It's almost like this is the kind of weather Flagstaff gets, which I kind of like, but you do need the rain. You know, uh, so we'll look at our satellite. I think I already showed you that. So this is a low pressure area that's developing off the coast here, and the question is how far north and west will these high clouds make it tomorrow? That is the question, because that will kind of determine what our skies will be like tomorrow. Let's go to the CONUS view here to show you again what's going on. So we'll just move this back a little. So here you can see your low right here that's developing over here. That's going to stay offshore, but again, we have to watch to see how far back the clouds get as well. And I could see smoke from wildfires going on in Montana and Wyoming. That will also have to be watched to see if that will become an issue. Let's go and look at the models now and see what's going to happen with this low, obviously. And you can see also, this is kind of interesting. Take a look at Texas here. We'll just show you this for a moment here. You can see what's going on here, how strong this high is. Let's see, we can go to Southern Plains. That would work. Take a look at this cold front here. See how it's moving in from the northeast? This is all the smoky air, and the smoke's kind of being pushed southwestward by this very, very strong high-pressure area. So if we go to the weather map here and look at our weather map here, you'll see we got a big high that's over us and bringing us really just a nice stretch of weather. You can see the gray area. That's where having air quality, critical weather, fire weather possible in this area here. All right. And we did have an elevated fire danger statement that was issued earlier on by the Weather Service, but they kind of rescinded it tonight. But we'll see if we get back into that again tomorrow. But anyway, let's go and look at the models now. And you see, here's your high pressure. Here's that low that's developing offshore, but it's going to stay there. But it is going to get quite deep. The GFS has this thing. I don't know. NHC not really saying that this thing's going to be tropical at all. No, they don't have anything on there. But this thing's going to get pretty deep, and it may just keep the winds. It looks like the worst of the winds stay offshore, but again, it's going to keep things breezy. It's going to keep the winds out of the north to northeast tomorrow. And it might throw some clouds our way. That, again, moves east, and on Friday we should see the clouds from that move go away. The high pressure just stay over us right into the weekend, actually, it looks like. So let's go and take a closer look at our area here in the HRRR model, which we'll go ahead and look at the 0Z run of the HRRR to see what it's going to do. And again, all this low pressure system here is going to stay offshore, but we may deal with some of the clouds from that low, but the rain is something we are not going to see. They could have really helped us out with the rain, but we're not going to see any rain from that. So we're going to be staying dry. Looking at the dew points and wind flow here, obviously tonight. See, we got the breeze, so that's what I'm saying. We may not get that radiational cooling with the breeze because of that low. The dew points stay low. North winds tomorrow. North to northeast winds tomorrow. And then Friday, they kind of stay in a north to northeast wind, which will help still keep the temperatures down, I think. Tonight, lows 30s, I think, for a lot of areas, but some areas may not get as cold if that wind stays up. Tomorrow, similar temperatures to today, I think. Maybe just a couple degrees warmer, maybe. Maybe low 60s. And then tomorrow night, lows again, probably around 40 degrees, though, again, 30s, and even colder possible in the Pine Barrens. And then it's Friday that we start to see the temperatures start warming up to closer to average, which is mid 60s would be closer to average. And then after that, we're going to go above normal, but I'm not going to talk about that, obviously, in this update here. So let's look at sounding for tomorrow. This will kind of help us determine our cloud cover a little bit. So we'll just take one right here, right at noon. And we're waiting. You see there's a little bit upper level moisture, but it's all going to determine on how far east you are. The closer you are, the further south and east you are, the more that moisture you're going to be in But if you're further to the west of it, you see that it's a little further apart there. So east end, I think the clouds are going to be more likely on the eastern part of Long Island and southeast New Jersey, say ocean southward on the Jersey Shore, perhaps. We'll get a few more models when it comes to clouds because that's the only really what if in our forecast. I'll go to the RGEM model first, which I know has been suppressing the clouds. So it keeps the clouds more or less away. Maybe has a few over. This one's been keeping the clouds away. It kind of just brings them off the south shore. I don't know why it keeps doing this. Brings them off. This is funny because only when I'm doing this, it seems like I'm having problems. I don't know what it is with this, but when I'm on this site, it seems like that's when I have problems. But you'll see here, Friday, we're mostly sunny. So, and then Saturday, also mostly sunny. So it's going to be hard to even get a cloud in the sky, I think. Though we have been having some clouds, but as that instability, that cold pool of loft, it warms up, we're going to have less of those kind of stratocumulus clouds. Let's go to the NAM. The NAM's a little bit different now. All right, so we have the 0Z run of the NAM, which is the later run. You can see the clouds do spread into our area for tomorrow on the NAM. All right, so the RGEM and the NAM don't agree. The GFS has been also throwing those clouds into our area. So I'm thinking, I think it's going to be like Suffolk County into Jersey Shore. But if you're in Nassau and maybe the city, and then, of course, the Hudson Valley, I think you'll have mostly clear skies. Yeah, it'll just be these are the cirrus. I think these are more of the cirrus variety here. I believe these aren't going to be mid-level clouds so much. Maybe Jersey gets a little bit of the mid-level. It's mostly high-level clouds that we'll see from this system that's offshore. Let's look at the FV3, the higher resolution GFS. This only takes us to tomorrow. So, yeah, that's all we've got on the 0Z, that run of it. So, only have so many models that we can look at here for this. As far as the skies go, I can go to the Ventus sky and look at the cloud cover on this as well. And you'll see that this kind of just keeps it off to the south. Maybe Jersey a little bit, but it's really hard. It's really tough. But I say the most likely, the areas you're going to see some of these high clouds are going to most likely be the eastern part of Suffolk counties. Say anything east of Nichols Road maybe, or anything in Jersey, anything south of like 195. Probably would be most likely to see these clouds at this point. At least that's what I'm thinking. Again, models don't necessarily agree. Also, this storm offshore, I want to kind of visualize on this as well with the winds. So go to wind gusts and just show you how powerful this thing is offshore. So again, look at that. Wow, 67. The HRRR is really showing some very strong wind gusts here. So this is maybe some type of hybrid system that's going to develop offshore. But offshore it will stay. But still, some pretty strong wind gusts here. Doesn't really have a tropical structure to it, but still really interesting to see. So this might have some tropical characteristics here, some really strong wind gusts. And because of that, we may have to wonder if there's going to be any effects on our coastline. Perhaps, let me just go to this. It's not really showing anything. It's mainly keeping this offshore. I mean, offshore is just going to be a bad storm. It's mainly keeping the effects offshore. But I have to wonder if we're going to start to feel some of the effects from this system here, as far as winds. That's something. I mean, well, we'll go to this model here, and we'll gotta shift this over to wind gusts here. This is the windy.com site, and this uses the European. So this is the Europeans' opinion of the wind gusts tomorrow, and you'll see this thing mainly offshore. But still within it, you're going to have some pretty strong wind gusts, 65 miles an hour. It looks like the biggest effects might be right at the Cape, right here, Cape Hatteras, where you might see some of these strong winds. The other issue, of course, is the waves. So, again, not really seeing much of an effect on the seas for us. But, again, there could be effects on the Carolinas with this very interesting coastal low tropical hybrid type of system. And Yeah, with this developing, I'll probably have to do another update tomorrow night because, yeah, look at this thing. It's wrapped up to the Euro, really. The Euro could have this thing become some kind of tropical system, honestly. I don't know why the NHC isn't watching this thing because this is this is definitely interesting to see. This is Friday at 11 a.m. You can see we got this wrapped up tropical system or yeah, I mean, this is going to be a subtropical storm, but you see those gusts up to 70. This is definitely going to be a hazard for people out in the ocean for sure. And again, if we go look at the seas here, um, we go to waves, you can see the kind of waves that we're going to see here. And yeah, we may be dealing with some of these effects on the east end. You can see that yeah, this thing is going to cause some. Yeah, look at it, it grows. It's like somebody dropped a pebble in there or something. Yeah, so you're going to be some rough waters offshore for sure. And again, if we look at our wind map here, it's kind of really interesting to look at this on windy.com and see what it does. Yeah, but you can see how strong the high pressure is. It's actually getting pushed to the south. So that's the kind of blocking that we have in place right now. So that's why it's dry and it's staying dry. So lastly, let's just go over the smoke model here. HRRR smoke model. Let's go to that. And we don't have the latest one in. We have to go to the 18s. Oh, we don't have an 18Z run either. They skipped it. Oh, boy. Yeah, it seems like they're skipping all the longer runs, unfortunately, for whatever reason, which kind of sucks. But we'll look at the shorter run. And then, no, we're not going to have to worry about any smoke right now. But you can see it's possible we may eventually have to worry about it as we get toward the weekend. We'll have to take a look at that when they have more model data. I don't know why this one is not updating properly, but not a surprise that they don't want to update these. Yeah, they only all the ones that go out in the long run. Like 18 is missing, 0Z is missing, 12Z is missing. So I'm not going to go back any older than that. But we're not going to have to be concerned with any smoke in our skies for the next couple of days, at least right through the end of this week. So I think that's going to wrap up this midweek Long Island weather report. Again, interesting happenings offshore with this developing low here. Really interesting. So I guess I'll have to be back tomorrow night to talk about this because this is oh yeah, there you go. You already got a small craft advisory, so they may have to change it, update that to a high surf advisory from this system here. That's going to be stirring up the waves for sure. So that's going to wrap things up. Good night.